Okay, guys, we're going to continue where we left off on Friday. Just going to kind of review everything we did, and I'll give you a quick check later this morning and probably a quizzes or two during the week. And then we have 2 or 3 more topics to cover, and then we're done for the year. So we need to probably go through, well, we got 4 things total, so we're going to do 2 this week and 2 next week. And so probably Wednesday or Thursday I'll put out another video with one more factoring thing, which is pretty simple, pretty easy to do. It's a lot easier than this guy, but and then we'll be done. So keep getting things in. So here we go. So let's start with this. Remember, at the very end of the lesson last time I said that we should always look for something to pull out first, to factor out. Is there something in common in all 3 terms? And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking 5 for sure. I think 5 goes into 10, 35, and 30, all of them. Anything bigger than that, I don't think so. 10 goes into these 2, but not into 35. So let's pull out a 5. If I divide each of those terms by 5, I get this, 2x squared. I get 7x, and I get 6. And now how do you tell if you did it right? Well, you look and see if there's anything that can be pulled out of these 3, and I don't think there is. So now we have to go to what we did last week, which is finding the factors of the first term and the last term. And we got to figure out what combination will get us where. And we need to review our rules about signs as well. So if this is positive, that's the easy kind, because now each of my signs has to be the same. And so then we look at this guy and it's negative, so I know that both my signs are going to be negative, which is going to make things easy. And since there's only one set of factors of 2, I can just start with those 2 factors right there, 2x and x. That's the only set of factors of 2 there are. So now I just got to figure out which 2 of these 4 numbers is going in there. And where? Well, I don't want to get too big, because like if I put a 6 here and a 1 here, that's going to be way too big, right? That's going to be negative 12, and that's going to be negative 1. That's going to be way too big. Okay, so what we need to do, remember I told you to try doing the whole factors that are closer together. So let's try putting the 2 here and the 3 here. So that's going to give me negative 6, and that's going to give me negative 2. That's negative 8, not negative 7, so that won't work. So let's try it the other way around. Let's flip these 2 guys around here. So if I put that 3 here and this 2 here, that's going to give me negative 4, and that's going to give me negative 3, and that is what I need. That's going to give me my negative 7 that I want there in the middle. So these are my 3 factors. This guy is still a factor. Even though he wasn't in the parentheses, he's still one of the factors. Because if I multiply these 2, I only get back to this. I have to take the whole thing times 5 to get back to the original statement. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is always check to see if there's something you can pull out. Okay, something in common in all 3 terms that you can factor out. All right. Let's try another one here. Let's go 2x squared plus 19x plus 24. So again, look to see if something's in common. Nothing. 2 will go into 24, but not into 19, and so that's it, because 2 is the only factor of 2. So I know that if it's going to be factorable, it's going to start this way, because those are the only factors of 2. And then since this guy's positive, both my signs have to be positive, because this guy's positive. If on the last one that was negative, so they were both negative. So this time they're both going to be positive. Now I got to find factors of 24 that are going to help me get to, oops, I forgot my multiplication tables. They're going to help me get to 19 somehow. Well, let's see. I mean, just try stuff. I try the ones that are closest together first. So let's try that. Let's go, if I go 6 and 4. So that's going to give me 12. That's going to give me 4. That's going to give me 16. And if I go the other way with those 2, that isn't going to work either, is it? Because if I put a 6 here and a 4 here, that's going to be smaller. That's going to be 8 and 6, that's only going to be 14. So that won't work. So it's not going to be 4 and 6 this time. But let's try 3 and 8. If I go 8 here and 3 here, that's going to give me 6 and 8. That's going to give me 14, right? That won't work. But if we switch them, put the 8 here and the 3 here, that's going to give me 16 and 3. Yeah, buddy. That gives me my 19x in the middle. So this is my factors. These are my factors, those two things. Okay? All right, let's try one that's a negative on the end. So now we have to have different signs. So I got 2x squared plus 9x minus 18. So now, again, I know that I have to start with 2x and x. The problem is I don't know if it's plus and minus or minus and plus. And I don't know which set of factors. So we just start guessing and checking. All right, I start thinking about this. Well, if I put a 6 here and a 3 here, that's pretty close, isn't it? Because that's going to be a negative 12 and a positive 3. That's going to give me a negative 9. So I just need to switch my signs, don't I? Look at that. So now I'll get a positive 12 and a negative 3. So we got lucky right off the bat there. This is our answer. Boom. Okay. You just don't, you just got to guess and check a little bit. Figure out what signs you need to make this number and this sign. Okay. And I'll try to find another one that has a negative there, because most of the problems I have here to start with are all positives. So let's go this one here. This one's a little bit tougher because we have more options. All right, so we know right now, because this is positive, my signs have to be the same, and because this is positive, I know that right now, but that's the only thing I know. Because look at all these different combinations here that I have. I got 3 combinations there, and I got 2 combinations there. So I got several different ways to try to get to 23 here. So I, again, choose the ones that are closest together. All right, let's see here. Somehow I got to get to 23. I'm thinking here, but that'll give me, that's too much, isn't it? Because if I put a 10 here, that'd give me 20, but a 2 here is going to give me 6, so that won't work. And if I went the other way, it'd be even bigger, because it'd be 30, right? If I put the 10 here, I'd have 30. That's way too big. All right, so that one's out. Let's try 5 and 4. Oh, yeah, okay, so let's try it this way once. That's going to give me 10, and that's going to give me 12. That's almost 23. It's 22. But that's not going to work, so let's switch them around. And you can kind of figure out some things on your own here to figure out, which way works best to decide this real quick. But there's 8, and there's 15, and yeah, buddy, that's our 23, isn't it? So these are the 2 factors. This makes 23x, which is our middle term. All right, let's do one more of those. So we got 4x squared plus 15x plus 14. This one here again has several choices, but not several, but multiple choices, because we have different, 2 different sets each way. So I'm going to go 2x and 2x, and I know my signs have to be positive again, because this makes them the same, and then I just check this guy. Oh, they're both going to be positive. If that had been negative, they'd both be negative. So now I'm trying 2x and 2x. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Let's try the 7 and the 2 here. That isn't going to work, is it? Because 7 and 2, that'd be 14 and 4. That's too big. Oops, not 14 and 14. 14 and 4 is too big. So that won't work. And if I switch it isn't going to work that way either. And if I do 14 and 1, that's going to be even larger. So I know right now that 2 and 2 isn't working. So it's got to be 4 and 1. So let's go here. So we got 4x plus and x plus. Now we got to come up with 15. So, yeah, how about this? That's going to be 8x, and that's going to be 7x, and that's going to make our 15x right there. Okay, so it took a few tries that time, you know, but you just work through it. Okay, let's try one more here. So I got 5x squared plus 3x plus 4. Whoops, that's supposed to be a plus sign. Make this look a little nicer. I hit it with my hand. All right, so I got 5x and x. Those are my only possibilities there because it's the only factors of 5. And I know my signs have to be positive. So now this one's pretty easy because we've only got 2 sets of factors of 4. And I got to come up with 3 somehow. Well, I don't see how that's going to happen. Do you? I mean, I got a 2 here, I got a 2 here. That's going to be way too much. That's going to be 12. That's too big. And if I go 4 and 1, that's going to be, yeah, who knows? If I put the 4 here and the 1 here, I still get 9. So neither one of them is going to work. What do? I say not factorable. I could also say prime. It doesn't have any factors, okay, besides 1. All right, so that's going to happen once in a while. I don't know if I'm going to give you a lot of those, but you have to realize that sometimes it's not going to work. And so factoring is the easiest way to solve a quadratic. And again, we haven't been talking about solving today, but the easiest way to solve a quadratic is by factoring, but not everything is factorable, so it only works for factorable ones, which there are a lot of them. But all right, so I'm going to try to find one more example. I should have found this before, but with a negative on the end of it. Here we go. So let's see, I got 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. And these are a little tougher because you don't always know where the signs go. You just have to do a little guess and check. This one's going to be fairly easy because I've only got so many options. Okay, the only problem I don't know where my negative goes, you know. So you just have to think about what you want to do with your numbers here. So if I go 5 here and 1 here, that's going to make negative 10 and 1. That's going to make 9x. So that isn't going to work. Even if I switch the signs, it's not going to work. So I have to switch my numbers. Now the problem is, well, which way should it be? So let's see here. If I put my 5 here and my 1 here, that's going to be a negative 2, and that's going to be a positive 5. That right there makes a positive 3x, doesn't it? So this is the combination that I need. If I had the 5 here and the 1 here, that would make, oh, wait a minute, that wouldn't work either. If I put the 5 here and the 1 here, that would make a negative 3. So this won't work. It's got to be this direction here. All right, good luck. Let me know if you have problems.